Welcome to F.E.A.R February, because February is Valentine's Day.
Ah, woman, I'm so scared of talking to girls.
Or because I didn't upload anything scary on October. Besides, this year is F.E.A.R's 20th birthday, which is on October. Ugh. So about a little while ago, I was playing a game called F.E.A.R, and what I was trying to do is to compare it to another game since everyone likes to call it a successor or quote-unquote true sequel. But there was barely any similarities I found, so if you want to watch that video, just click on the link in the card or description. Developed by Monolith and published by Vivendi, F.E.A.R was made to be the game to make you feel like a star of an action hero movie. As if that's never been done before! Other than the John Woo style action, gunplay, and level structure, what's also mixed in the game is the J-horror influences that sometimes pop in here and there. But despite spookiness, F.E.A.R is no survival horror. Yes, you are mostly alone in the game. It's really just gunfights most of the time, and most of the monster chase sequences is just Alma walking slowly. This ain't Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street or Scream, but even some horror games at least give you some heart-stopping chases. But chase scenes aside, one of F.E.A.R's biggest selling points isn't the horror gist of it, it's the AI. One of the things that players are still impressed is how they would patrol the area. You throw a sticky bomb, they won't get close because they know you're gonna pull a trigger. Turn on a flashlight, they take notice and get ready for action. Focus on one target, a group tries to flank you. Can't reach you? They'll just jump over a window or a fence. My favorite part of my experience with the AI is the time where they try to flank me from behind while I was sneaking in to ambush them, since that place had a backdoor alternate route. Good strategy, but better luck next time. Of course, all the stuff I'm talking about is just tip of the iceberg levels. Probably because I suck at noticing the other small actions they do. All of this thanks to a system known as goal-oriented action planning, or as the devs like to call it, GOAP? Go App? Something like that. This allows the AI to think of possible strategies to make sure the player is eliminated. It's almost as if the programmers thought about every single outcome of what an average tactical SWAT patrol team would do in combat. Where did they think of this? I'm not even kidding. In a small rare moment, one of the soldiers is willing to suicide bomb after death. Unfortunately, despite my praises, good AI does not mean hard to kill tough enemies. Now, I was actually expecting to die a lot coming to this game because old games, you know, they tend to be harder, but I've only died like 3 or 5 times. This problem probably stems with me playing on hard mode and not impossible, but really, I just thought this is where the AI flushes out minimally. Maybe it's because I tend to move a lot as a means to exploit the AI, but that's just a guess. So ultimately, the game was pretty much a walk in the park to me. Even the scariest stuff was a walk in the park. I mean, it's no Source Engine or whatever 2000s Konami game uses, but the atmosphere here is pretty damn good. Same goes for the horror stuff, but I will admit, I did not shiver my spine playing this game. Occasionally you would have faces come up to you sometimes, a JPEG of some sorts, of dude kissing you, or an animated cutscene. Though I guess the soundtrack does help enhance the experience. Other than that, there are moments where you get trapped in this hallucination world of Alma's old memories, showing more of her backstory. But most of the time it's just her mom screaming in the hospital giving birth to this demon child.
Cut this evil out of him!
Or is it? More on that later. Other Broken Age engine jank includes 9mm bullets launching ragdolls and oversensitive props. So the game starts with this John Woo inspired opening scene featuring a traditional soundtrack and some impressive graphics even to this day. Wait, Grant Goodeve, the engineer? So this is Paxton Phil, one of the 2 main villains of F.E.A.R. He was born with mind control abilities that's used to control an army of clone super soldiers known as replicas, not to be confused with replicants. So you, the protagonist, Gordon Pointman, who has been assigned to investigate despite being the new guy for having impressive reflexes, which is the power of slow-mo, whoa! Despite your quote-unquote impressive training results, the game has got one of the most awkward controls ever. You'd expect the E key to be the use key, but it's the leading button. You'd expect the F key to be the flashlight, but no, it's the X button. Crouch is C, bullet time is control, at least that makes sense. Aim down sights is shift, and I keep forgetting that sprinting doesn't exist. Makes me wonder if the game is really hard or if it's just the controls. So you got a bunch of cast of characters, none of them are interesting except for the villains, and from there you get sent to a bunch of missions taking place in some mostly greyish urban industrial areas, which sometimes look the same. Now that is actually a criticism I heard of the level variety. First time playing it, I didn't mind, but after repeated viewings and my editing, I just realized how boring it got looking at these levels. Like, ugh, I can't tell if I'm on a different rooftop or the same rooftop.
On a different rooftop?
Yes.
Different from this one?
Yes.
Are you serious? Are you taking some kind of tour of city rooftops?
Yes.
As the story progresses, you end up in facilities owned by Armor Cam, or ATC for short, where you learn that they've been making some super soldiers with a mind-controlling commander. But as seen in the intro, the dude was trolled by his little girl's ghost to go on a full genocide run. You expect that these ATC securities might be your buddies to help contain the situation, but Barney Calhoun's they ain't.
It's me, Gordon. Barney from Black Mesa.
Throughout the missions, you would sometimes find voice messages and laptop files to learn some info and things that happened to recent events, but the lack of database that lets you replay these stuff kinda makes it forgettable, unless you're willing to replay or find and upload YouTube clip. Even level selection doesn't exist, so that sucks. Eventually, throughout the story, you meet this fat dude, and I don't like this fat dude, he's not even a funny character. How the fuck does this guy end up being a catalyst for the climax? Hell, his fats are strong enough to contain the pain from the bullets! There's some other friendly NPCs you'll meet later, almost none of them are your squad teammates because you never even get to fight alongside with them, which I thought was stupid because you're supposed to be part of some kind of special force. At this point, big all missions are solo sneaky missions, turn me into Solid Snake. Even when you do work with them, it's just short escort missions. They have God mode on, so don't even bother being worried about them. But as you delve deeper into the core, this is where you start to learn the truth. Remember I said in the flashbacks just the mom giving birth to Alma? Well, as it turns out, I was actually wrong in that. In fact, it's the other way around. Now, I've already said how the horror didn't scare me that much, but a wise man once said, jump scares aren't horror, the feeling of fear and being uncomfortable is horror. And when this scene came up, this is actually the first time where I said, holy shit. For once, this game can go ahead and throw out whatever scary flashback going on me, some JPEG of some guy kissing me, but this one takes the cake. You see, the truth is, this isn't Alma's mom giving birth. It's actually a lot more fucked up than that. Like, you see, it turns out Alma is your, how do I say this?
Teenage mother!
So remember kids, next time if you want to feel like Neo from the Matrix, all you have to do is to make sure your mom looks like this. So kill Paxton in an epic boss fight, which is just him surrendering. Get chased by ghosts, which luckily, if it bleeds we can kill it, which they don't bleed, and successfully escape the building. Until the reactor blows up, and you all die in the helicopter, with your mommy trying to murder you. And your buddies.
Once there was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly that everyone died. The end.
As said before in my plot summary, there's barely any NPC allies teaming up with you. And it's mostly just you alone gunning down some enemies. Now, enemy variety here, according to most critics, is said to be lacking. Personally, I think there's enough of them. Construction war! You got replica soldiers with red visors, replica soldiers but black, replica soldiers but... yeah, I don't even know the difference. I guess I lied to you. But hey, at least they sometimes throw out heavy armors. Ninjas, which really fight alongside the basic soldiers, probably because they don't want to break the AI. Maybe. And some unexpected ones like machine-type enemies like mechs, laser drones, and the most terrifying of them all, turrets. What? They have a ridiculously high HP. It takes like an entire pack of rockets to kill them. For one turret? What's this shit even made of? Sadly, despite being a horror game, there's only like one supernatural enemy. Not counting Alma and Paxton, it's these ghost things that takes one bullet to kill. What sucks? Bring me some head crabs and pinkies. Maybe that'll at least shake things up a bit. And as with all FPS games, except for Amnesia or Walking Sims, the game has guns. Lots of guns. You got your pistol, which you can dual wield if you find another to trigger your chewy and fat neo-equilibrium tendencies. An SMG that you'll probably replace with an assault rifle, shotgun for up-close combat, a scoped burst fire rifle, a pantry which is only useful if you're the enemy, yeah this gun sucks, a sniper rifle, which is a literal particle cannon, some kind of boom gun, and a rocket launcher that shoots all 4 rockets. There's 3 grenades in this game, which are normal bombs, proxy mines, and remote sticky bombs. Other items include health boosters, reflex boosters, and medkits. Or as I'd like to call it, the reason why I didn't find this game hard. Maybe it's just me, but if these were just one-time pickups, I might have a more challenging time, but every time whenever I have an almost max HP and see a spare health kit, I'll just use my inventory medkit and pick the spare one just to not waste it. No melee weapons, but you can do a epic slide kick, a normal elbow strike, and jump kick. Multiplayer mode, dead! So that was F.E.A.R, First Encounter Assault Recon. As said in my previous F.E.A.R video, the game is fine in a good way. I think it's thanks to the audio and sound design allows the spooky stuff to get enhanced more, even if I wasn't terrified of the game that much. I see the game more as an art house than a horror game, even if most of the levels do look dull the more I look at it. Not my fault the game lacks any horror enemies here and there. I feel like the biggest criticism I have of F.E.A.R is that I must have overhyped myself after seeing all the good feedback this game is getting. But if I'm gonna be honest, I think Doom 3 is scarier than a COD game trapped in a J-horror. That's saying something. And I definitely did not see it because of a top 10 video I watched. Ah, the good old days. 4 of the 5 Cinder Points. Now with that out of the way, what about its expansion pack? What about its epilogue? What about its next story, that is F.E.A.R Extraction Point? Oh boy, that's a whole can of worms. We'll talk about that more in the next F.E.A.R February episode. So like for the algorithm, subscribe for the notifications. This is Senaret, logging off until next time.